Yo, welcome. 12 Hub Podcast, episode 10. We made it to the magical number 10. 10. On the road to 11. Yeah, big number.
The fastest road to 11.
The fast, well, in the history of us doing podcasts.
There's no quicker way to 11 than 10 from 10.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but I'm proud of this moment. I would have brought some confetti or something, but we got a long way to go. I think if we hit episode
100.
100? You want to be that ambitious? Okay. I was saying 50, but 100. Okay, save me $5 on confetti. What's going on, y'all? How's everybody this week?
Good. Can't complain.
Wow. That's good. That's it, huh? It's everybody's just doing.
How are you? I'm
in a good mood. I was like really down. Like down meaning like energy wise, Monday and Tuesday. Yeah. I'm glad we canceled. Well, actually, yesterday I'm glad we canceled because I slept all day for the most part. I was like not feeling well, so I wasn't like. I was like, whatever, do it tomorrow. Now I got some energy. I took a melatonin last night, went right to bed, got up super early, and back on the road to riches and diamond rings. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. I mean, we back into another week. So I'm going to start. Yep. I'm literally going to start at the top of the list because this is an interesting topic. You know how they Target killed off DEI and all the Black people that were like super for Target doing all the DEI initiatives was like up in arms and boycotted shit, and they lost billions of dollars. So there is reasoning behind it, which is interesting. And just to give people some context, and I don't know if you all know about this, during the pandemic era, like from 2020 to 2020, maybe 2023, Target was really a big advocate for placement of Black owned and operated businesses products inside of their stores. They gave them like, end caps, displays and shelf space, right? Tons of shelf space. Apparently they just, when DEI started to fade away and this is before Trump even, they just stopped doing it. And now, and for some reason, I guess Black people didn't catch wind of it until Trump, came into office. So of course it's his fault. But there's underlying. Look, I'm like, it's Trump's fault. Whatever. I don't care. Partially, but also the fact that DEI, the fad of DEI, was starting to go out anyway. But the real reason behind it, and this came from an executive. Now there's a video you can look at. I'm gonna start leaving links to some of this content in the bio for people to click on. But the real reason was because they wasn't moving shit. And this is something I brought up a long time ago on my old podcast, because me and remember I used to do a sneaker podcast, Sean, with that guy Glenn. So he was on that one. So we used to talk about Black owned and operated business. This guy was really big on buying local Black and buying, helping your small business friend, like patronizing like your man who makes t-shirts or your man who has a barbershop. And I'm like, that's not scalable growth in a community, right? Jews open up like, big establishments and own companies and media companies and stuff. White people, Asian people, right? They own big corporations and things like that. Why do Black people always talk about buying my man's t-shirt or check out my record label and all this other nonsense, right? Now, as we've grown into ourselves, we've gotten into bigger and better things. Now, I used to argue with this guy about this stuff, like the reason why it doesn't work out. Because look, I don't know about you, but my white friends ain't using Black women hair care products. I mean, I don't know if your white friends do that, Lauren. You know a lot. Like, do they use I don't know what women put in their hair, cocoa butter, shea butter, whatever the fuck. I don't know. Right? I don't do it. They don't use the same stuff that we use. Now, I always brought up this thing. I use the example, like, what if the Black man invented a better zipper, right? Put those YKK people out of business, whatever the fuck the zipper company is that runs everything, right? They just made it a fraction of a penny cheaper. Now, everybody would buy that zipper. Now, the Black man runs the zipper. But nobody thinks like that. Or the Black man can run the toilet paper, make it softer toilet paper, whatever. Now, there have been innovations that Black people have come up with, but they always... Not always, but sometimes they sell off the rights to the bigger corporation, and then they capitalize off it while they get a percentage, rather than scaling it and making them the ultimate owner. And this is what happened with the stuff that was going on at Target. It wasn't a scalable business. You're giving tons, like, the shelf space in a big box store like
expensive,
that. It's expensive. So if you're not moving shit, like if you have a whole section, right, and it's all general hair care products, and right in the middle is the black hair care products, and yeah, black people buy it, but it's still sitting there while the Head and Shoulders and the Pantene Pro V and the whatever, all the other stuff is moving and restocking, while you're just still sitting on the same product because there's not that many black people actually buying it. Then that's not good business for Target, right? Now, mind you, they could have done some other things, right? Like they did better at business development with these people and all that type of stuff, where they could have helped make them have or get them to have better products. But instead, they just cut it off, which is, I don't know, from a business perspective, it's fine. But
I mean, no, you just actually made me think about something, because it's almost like why the strategy should not necessarily be to make something for the black community. It should be to make something for the general community, right?
That's what I'm saying,
yeah. So it's like you said, and I think unfortunately that's it. We get almost a reverse support, like I don't know. I don't want to. It's like a very weird dynamic mentally, right? Because we get to a point where we black owned, or we're black business, or we're black this or black that, and at the end of the day, right, whatever we're doing is we're typecasting ourselves, right, to just get in black business. That's what we're doing. We're kind of relegating ourselves to, of course we want to support our own communities and support our own people, but we have to create a system where we support everyone, right? Like, so we got to start with, which it used to be before, we've talked about this, where our communities had stores that were owned by black people. There's a form of distribution, right? So you can keep products that your community wants, but it's for the general community, and people from all stretches of the area comes to that community to get certain things, whether it be food, whether it be clothing, right? But the distribution channel is created. It's like 125th in Harlem. Like, people go there, white, black, Spanish, whatever the case may be, right? It's a transport system for like all things, and but it's still right in the black community, but it's not necessarily where if you're not black you can't go there. And I think that's sometimes where people unfortunately start that, and then kind of get restrictive of people that only can support, or you have to support because of this, that, and the other, so that's
it pigeonholes us into this weird place where it's like, okay, we have to cater to our, but like I don't use black products, like the hair care products, and say I don't use no Afro Sheen or S Curl, or I don't have no hair on my head. Like I don't do, like I and how many beard, I use black. I bought it at a local thing, but some lady made that in her kitchen, right? So it's like, how are you, what I mean, like beard oil or whatever, and the lady made, it was real good. I still have it, and I still use it to this day. My beard looks amazing, but it's like that's lasted me 3 years. You know what I mean? It's like, so you're telling me that's scalable? No, it's not. It's a niche product. And if you're only catering to black people, it's even tougher. So I don't know. Like Lauren, do you patronize a lot of black businesses in Richmond? Like, at all?
I'm sorry, like support them?
Support them, yes.
I do personally. I'm big on like local businesses, but it doesn't just have to be black, like as long as it's a quality product. But I definitely get y'all point of view of like trying to market for everybody instead of just one group, because then you can make more sales and then everybody could feel included.
And that's the problem.
I'm sorry. Then again, I feel like it can be inspiring to use the term black black business, because a lot of people in the black community don't do business or have a business. So I feel like it inspires others to do it, and then the more we do it, maybe the less we'll hear that specific term, but it's not
because it's kind of tough. It's like, as a black person who has a business, sometimes when you step out and you do business outside of the community, people try to look at you a certain way, when you have to basically pander to the black community, unfortunately, and to my own community, that to get business, which is kind of like weird. It's like, we should be supporting each other de facto, and I should be able to expand and do things that put us right in a light where we can all do things together. Like we can all combine and do things because we're all putting. If you have something that you're doing, a service, whatever your business is, and it's a valuable business, and you're pushing forward and it helps people, and it should be supported by your community no matter what. But sometimes when people step out and they do more commercial, it's like with music, right? Hip hop. Hove went through this. You go on commercial, Hard Knock Life and all that. It's not going commercial, right? It's expanding and giving other people access to your talent, and that shouldn't be looked at as selling out. That should be looked at as wow. People should know about this,
bro. You don't understand how like an artist like Drake has expanded hip hop and other music too. He introduced white people to Caribbean music and Afro beats and even like reggaeton, reggae music, like the way because he's just crosses over everything. People in Europe, people in other countries that never heard that shit, but they criticize him for being a culture vulture, which make like black people, in general. Oh, he's taking our culture and spreading it out in a good way. Like it's not like they're copying our hair and shit like that. That's one thing. But if they're listening to our music and appreciating an artist that can cross over into many genres and cultures, that's a good thing to me. I don't understand why people always, and then, and that's why like a lot of the, we could get into this more conversation later because of the Playboy Carti album and Kendrick being on it. But that's why like people are looking at Kendrick kind of funny now because number one, like I've been saying since day one, Drake put him on. Two, what did Drake do to anybody?
Yeah.
Besides, if you're
just
beefing over women, I mean, look, it's one thing. Look, women have destroyed empires, right? But you talking about some hoes that rappers fucked. No disrespect to women in general, but like they ain't no princesses or queens and shit like that. They just regular ass girls that's waiting backstage.
They said they share all the same.
They share all the same. So if these other guys like Future and Rick Ross and all these dudes are mad over some broads, that's fine, I guess. And they have this Playboy lifestyle and all that other crap. That's fine, but like at the end of the day, you're gonna try to tear down a man who's talking about the same shit you talking about in songs, taking the guy's girl, doing it. He just did it to you. He did your lyrics to you, and you mad about it. And then Kendrick, for the most part, I don't know. I'd never like Kendrick Lamar. I just hate his voice, so I'm not gonna get into it. I gotta keep dwelling on that. But like, the hypocrisy behind like how Kendrick moves, especially being on the Playboy. And I want to talk about that. I guess we could jump right into that. So Dion, so wait, are you guys still shopping at Target, by the way?
I am. I mean, they have everything I need.
Well, I haven't been in there physically like in a while, but yeah, I mean, we'll pop in there if we need something, but mostly we'll order from like Costco, like toiletries and stuff like that.
Yeah, I do the Costco all the time. I just don't know. I go to Target sometimes to get stuff because sometimes if I want, like, say I really want to get that bathroom rug right now, I'll go to Target before I go to Walmart. Or and then we
get
stuff online.
Quick, little comforter thing or something. Yeah, it's like you grab it.
Yeah, and it's better. I don't like going to the Walmart anymore. I don't know about y'all.
I'm not a fan of Walmart.
I think it's just the quality of people, and no disrespect.
I was gonna, yeah.
There's always something that's just.
I know.
I got to clutch my purse when I go in there. I ain't trying to get robbed. Anywho, so speaking of any of you did y'all listen to Playboy Carti's album?
I have not.
No.
Wow.
Do you recommend any songs?
Not at all. No. Let me. I'll pull up Spotify.
Okay.
Because I don't know any of the music. I'm not a Playboy Carti fan, so I can't really.
I should have listened to it though, just to check it out.
So I heard Evil Jordan. Actually, Evil Jordan's not bad. I do like the song with The Weeknd, Rather Lie. That's good. K-pop is cool. Philly is dope. I like Philly. Actually,
I heard it's like 40 songs, right? Like 40 songs.
Yeah, 30.
Oh, 30. Okay.
Now I only got through maybe half of it. But Kendrick Lamar, apparently I heard it, and people see this, correct me if I'm wrong, executive produced it or something, but he's on 3 of the songs. 3 of the songs on the album, I think. So now Playboy Carti, if you don't know his history, he's a deadbeat dad, has put hands on women, and apparently, Kendrick, he said it out loud. He wants to protect black women, and Drake's a pedophile that probably beats women too. But Kendrick, I heard he beats his wife too. That's what Drake said, but I don't believe Drake because they're all liars.
Well, that's why I always say these guys can't get away from hypocrisy. It's literally like they all. This is why I don't understand why anyone in this any rap situation you should never take a moral stance. No one's just go at each other, right?
Unless you're like that guy though.
But don't try to assassinate. So don't say assassinate someone's character, right? Just go at each other and talk shit. Like just keep it on the skills and just destroy them. You can get personal, but don't go at someone's character, call somebody a pedophile. Like, come on, bro. Like,
but see, people got into it now. See, that's the thing. And then you think you're moving culture, but you're never not. Like the biggest. I think Drake. I'm not Drake. I think Kendrick's a culture vulture. Like he's from LA. He's a gang. Like he's affiliated with the Crips, Bloods, whatever. He's like I can't respect somebody who does this type of stuff. And he's doing it just sort of trolling. And I know he's a freaking, like, he doesn't care, obviously. He's making his money. I think that's what the sentiment has been since this whole thing. I mean, he said it out loud, but then he also has this moral stance that now people are criticizing him for that. But he ain't going to change. He's just going to do what he does. He's making money now. He's a big boy. He's a big boy. All the white people love him. He's getting Pulitzer prizes and shit. Let that be. But that's not, like Drake. It's sad that they, to tear down one of the biggest artists ever. The guy, arguably, Drake is probably on the same level as a Michael Jackson. Like that, as far as the global appeal. And I know Sean, you're hold on.
I agree on a global level.
I agree. Come on, man. You gotta come on. There's not been an artist since Michael Jackson has done what Drake has done. Where little motherfuckers in Zimbabwe's talking about Hotline Bling. Come on, bro. No. I'm sorry. Michael Jackson literally had millions of people. It's like, different, man. Millions of people. Bro. This era.
He's like the new generation. Michael.
I'm not saying he's Michael Jackson.
I would say Chris Brown if you want to go with Chris Brown.
On, man.
Chris Brown has hits.
He's in Australia listening to Chris Brown like that.
Okay, let's look at top hits though. Let's look at top hits.
Yeah, the hits.
Chris Brown has massive hits himself and on other people's shit. Same as Drake. Well, I mean, come on.
I think Drake got more.
Well, let's put him up. I mean, I think let's see what are we looking at. Top Billboard. Like, let's see how many. Let's see, Chris Brown.
No, Drake has more number ones than any artist ever.
How many number ones is Chris Brown?
He's gonna look this up. He has more number ones than Michael Jackson. He has more number ones than Prince. Whoa, my microphone.
What?
Just dropped my mic. Yeah, he has more number ones than Michael, more number ones than Prince, more number ones.
But like you said, things are different. Like you said, things are different now. I mean, the number ones are, people used to have to go to the store and people have to just sleep outside to be somebody number one. Now all you have to do is fall on your phone and you've already got a subscription to buying that album.
Can I make a point of this though? Think about
Chris Brown has 20 number one hits.
Streaming gives the listener more accountability because you can buy. I bought CDs that went platinum that I've only listened to once. We've all done this, so we were like, "Oh, I like that one song." I mean, Lauren, not you probably because you've probably never seen the CD, but like, I bought cassettes. You know this, Sean. You've done it too. Where you bought that album.
Drake. Okay, hold on. But Drake has achieved. And I love that word, achieved. He really worked for this. 13.
When you work for
13 number one hits. And I said Chris Brown had 20 number one hits. So let's go back to the
number one Billboard hits?
No, yes. Number one Billboard hits.
Top 200 Billboard, not R&B.
Billboards. Let me ask ChatGPT. ChatGPT don't lie. Why is it?
Chat might be a little more accurate.
Here. Oh,
are you on the Billboard website?
They from Google. Chat pulls it from Google.
Whatever.
Because literally, I've done ChatGPT and it has a Google reference. Have you seen that when you try to? And it has like a whole site. It's almost like Wikipedia, but it gives it to you.
Drake. Let me see. Every artist with 100
look,
or more.
he's tied. They said he. Let's see. He's the most for rappers, but
no. Here it is. Drake's bill. He has held the record for the most number one hits in mainstream hip hop R&B with 46. Also has charted 80 top 10 hits on Billboard Hot 100. Chris Brown has
I'm
20
not seeing
hits
anything about 40.
on
I'm
mainstream.
not seeing anything
No,
about 40.
this is I'm reading your Google. I'm reading the Google. So yeah, let's share this tab. I'm gonna share this with y'all because
it says 13 number one hits for Drake. I'm on Billboard right now. 13 number one hits for Drake.
No.
80 top 10. 80 top 10. I'm on Billboard. This is Billboard.
Okay, it's fine. I'm looking. Oh, Chris Brown has 20 number one hits on the mainstream R&B and hip hop. Drake has 46 on mainstream R&B and hip hop. So he has double the amount on hip hop and R&B.
Can you read off what this says though? What does this say on Billboard?
Wait, hold on.
Can you just read this off? Can you read this off? What does this say on Billboard?
13 number one hits.
This is Billboard. Okay. So why is Billboard? Why is Billboard? Look, Billboard. So why is Billboard saying it's like 70 less than what you're saying?
No, there's an R&B chart.
But no, there's Billboard 100. It's no R&B. There's only one Billboard.
I'm trying to figure out what that. Okay,
top 100. 13. Top 100. There's no R&B. We don't do that. When you're talking Michael Jackson, we don't do R&B. We do top Billboard
does Drake
100.
have?
That's it.
Drake has
13.
Okay,
it's on.
Wait. Dog, chill, bro. No, I'm here. I googled it. He's reached Hot 100. His 200 other records, top 10. Here we go. Oh, top 10, most top 40, number one hits achieved. Oh, Drake has achieved 13 number one hits on Billboard Hot 100.
Yes, that's the only one you need to. Yes,
Drake has. How many does Chris Brown have?
20. That's what I said. Top 100. We don't do R&B or rap. We do Billboard Top 100.
Wait,
that's what the greats. That's what the greats go by. Okay, we're not talking about Midwestern Hot 105.
I don't know how Chris Brown has 20 Hot 100.
You don't know how he has 20? He's been in the game for like 20 years. Chris Brown been making hits since he was 16 years old. Hits, smash records.
Run it. Now, I don't chart become the first. How many hits? How many? I'm trying to figure this out because I don't believe you. I still don't believe you.
It's on Billboard.
Here, top 10, 17, 118, top 40, first Hot 100 hits, 100. Wait, I'm just gonna. How many? Number one top 100 does 35. How does it 20? That doesn't even make sense, bro.
Right. Well,
top 10.
We can move on.
Yeah, 17. No, wait. Number one hits. Chris Brown has had 11 songs reach number one.
That's R&B.
Okay, so wait. Pause.
Airplay.
Okay, how does that make any sense? How does he have 11 R&B and hip hop hits? But did you say 20? Top 100.
He does. He has some pop hits though.
But what I'm saying is, yeah, exactly. So some things may not be categorized as R&B. He's.
No.
Why don't you believe in Chris Brown?
Why don't you believe in Chris Brown? Oh wait. Oh, Run It hit number one. Shit.
Yeah.
No clue. Course. One. I'm counting these off. One.
You're talking. This is the album.
Two.
These are albums.
No, these are singles.
6-time platinum, 2 times platinum. These are albums.
Kiss. That Kiss song was dope. I didn't know it was number one.
Yeah.
Kiss. T-Pain, man. I was listening to T-Pain today. Oh boy. I love me some T-Pain. T-Pain need to make another auto tune.
But Chris Brown. Did Chris Brown and Drake have a song together?
Yeah.
They did, yeah. On one of Drake's recent albums, I know.
No. It was on Chris Brown's album. Well, no, he's been on Drake's album.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's no, I don't believe that because right now it just says there's only 2 number one hits. But
no, those are albums.
No, I mean singles, whatever the fuck. How many how many Billboard number number one hits does Chris Brown have? Okay, Chris Brown biography, Billboard 100. Okay, here it is. Here's the proper number. 2 number one hits. 2 number one hits. Jesus Christ.
Well, Drake doesn't have 70 number one hits.
What are you talking about? Drake has
you said he has 70
that hit number one.
Now you're claiming it.
That's the hot 100.
No, earlier you were trying to claim the 13.
Yeah,
you were like,
Chris Brown has 3.
That's Billboard 200.
Wow, Indigo is number one. I like that song. I know.
Yeah.
That's
I didn't know it was that popular though.
You know, I didn't know it was that popular either. But you know, charts are weird now. If it streams well, like the first week, and people fucking.
That's what I'm saying. I don't even. So we can't talk Michael Jackson. I mean, we're talking like people had to literally physically play your music. Like that's a different environment than
that's wild though.
Whatever this is.
Run It was number one in the country. You can run it. That's his first song ever. Joel Santana was on that song. You know who Joel Santana is, right?
Weeks on the chart, 38 weeks. Wow.
38 weeks.
He 52 weeks. Go crazy.
So my point is, Drake has more number one hits.
Well, Michael Jackson. Look up Michael Jackson.
I don't care. No, see, this is the thing.
You know what's so funny? Michael Jackson had that on one album. He probably had that on one album.
I'll look up Michael just to...
He probably had 5 number one hits on one album. So I think the Beatles may be number one. The Beatles.
Drake is. Drake has the most number ones ever. Like as far as Billboard Hot 100. This song. Why? I like this song. I ain't gonna lie, I like it, but I don't think it's number one.
Wait, how does that song go?
You don't even know. It's good. SZA does a good job on it. It's mainly her and this.
Yeah, they played.
But I do know it. I do know it.
Yeah,
I forgot
they played
how
a lot, but I'm kind of like over that song. But they played. I mean, I liked it, but it's not like us. Wow, still number 3. Damn.
Nokia is really good.
I like Nokia by Drake. Moving.
Yeah.
Starting to move.
Oh yeah. Okay.
It's up. Bruno Mars is making a comeback. He got to play off them gambling debts. Damn. Doechii. Anxiety. So she released this as a single. Wow. Sleepy Hollow must be pissed. Well, not really. He still because he sampled it. That's wild. That's just moving up. She actually released that record, huh? Anxiety. I love that song. The original. I don't think Sleepy's version. Messy. Chapel Rona. I still have not heard one song from her ever in my life. All Star. Yeah. Oh, the rest of his songs have fallen off the charts. I don't really, I should not be mad because both of these young men are moving the culture in a very good way. Hip hop, that is. Drake and him. But, Kendrick, you just need to go there. And I hate to see black men tear each other down. But it's just terrible.
Yeah.
But Drake shows resilience. He's moving up the charts with that Nokia song, which is not the best song. I like it, but it's not.
I think it's fun and it's just like a different vibe that everybody needed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, my point before was that the streaming holds the listener more accountable because I've bought CDs or music back in the past when you had to buy physical copies and I did not listen to the whole album. You'll see like this, Kendrick's albums being streamed consistently, even though it's probably bots and stuff doing it. Drake gets listened to consistently.
Exactly.
And this is why songs stay on the charts longer, because it's not about radio play. It's about how many actual people are listening. So like an artist like Shabuzi, who's been out since last summer, 48 weeks on the charts. That's been almost a year, but still in the top 10.
But it used to be weeks of sales, not on the charts. Weeks of sales. People continuously buy. People. I'm just saying, but as far as the impact the music had, I think streaming, people now just put their entire catalog on a shuffle and they get whatever it's gonna get, and that algorithm probably forces.
No, we do this, bro. You know
when I play Apple Play, I basically just download a new album. I may listen to it, but then I throw it in a shuffle.
Last time we was out in the street, when we was in DC, I think it was like a year and some change.
But yeah, we'll go back. Yeah,
I played that Jumbotron shit like 18 times.
Yes,
in a row.
We have favorites that we go back to.
That's where you get a billion streams from.
That's correct, but we used to go back to albums, right? We used to it used to be a situation where you'd be like, "Yo, I'm about to throw the purple tape in," and you was listening to that, or you'd be like, "I'm about to throw this in." We listened to that. But you didn't just be like this one song
when new music came out. Now I could go back and listen to the first Jay-Z album.
But we used to listen to the whole tape. We used to listen to the CD or whatever. We used to throw the CD on, and that was that album was what our playlist was for the next hour. If it was a party or whatever, put that such on.
Rarely doesn't like. I could see back when physical copies were a thing. So, like your parents would buy, they had it on vinyl first, then they had to get it on tape because the vinyl got scratched, and they buy the tape. And the CD is out, they remastered it. And it sounds amazing, so they buy that. So that's why the Beatles and Michael Jackson and all these other artists stayed on the charts, because everybody keeps buying their stuff. Yeah. Now it's on streaming. They do well on streaming. Like Michael Jackson still does well on streaming.
Yeah.
But they're not moving like Kendrick and all them, because these kids have, like, the way we used to repeat that CD and that tape. That's what they do with this crap.
Yeah. No. I mean, I agree. I would agree with that front, but again, I think when people are downloading an album, I don't necessarily think people are going back to that whole album and listening to that whole album. Whereas before,
apparently they are. The album's charting, both like Drake and Kendrick and.
No, I'm talking about the whole record, like the whole album, like would be listening to the entire album, not just a couple songs. The songs that are charting, one or two songs. What
they chart because the album's on repeat, because people want to hear these songs over and over again.
But the other songs aren't charting. I mean,
they fall down gradually.
Yeah. What I'm saying is that means that essentially all you have to have is one or two good songs to make an album based on your theory. And I'm saying that's not a good strategy.
No, you can have one single. Shabuzi doesn't have, like, Shabuzi's been on the charts for a year and hasn't put out another record since with that Tipsy song. So it's like, but he's probably making more money than Kendrick because he's been playing for a year. Like Kendrick, all these songs from Kendrick's album are going to fall off the charts at some point.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And the Shabuzi song, I think it's damn near 2 billion streams. You know how much money that is? It's a lot of money.
Well, according to Snoop, it's not. He said they get raped
Snoop
on
don't
this.
make no damn money. You know what?
But no, he said no. But no, he quoted billion streams. This makes it like 30,000.
No,
so I don't know. We'd have to look at. We'd have to look at the numbers. I don't know, what does an artist make
different platforms. He's talking about making on Spotify versus Apple Music versus the other platforms. Physical copies.
What dictates how someone
digital downloads?
Is Spotify? Oh, hold on.
Spotify. Well, they all pay different streams versus downloads. Versus what? Oh, you got to mute himself. Well, I don't know. What? Want me to mute you? I'll mute you. You got to take a phone call?
No, my Siri connected to my headphones. But what were we saying?
I lost my train of thought.
No. But I was saying, as far as when you have an album, when people go physically buy your album, I think it's just a more visceral thing than streaming. I think streaming, but people go to sleep to music. People in the shower, like people are listening to music in different mediums, and I don't necessarily think they're necessarily listening to music. That shit just might be playing in the background, And before it was more intentional. People wanted to listen to a song or an album or an artist. People back in the day, jazz, put some Miles Davis, right? Like, people get into a mood, you put your old like rhythm and blues, right? Like the Temptations or something. Like people they get a feeling with that. I think on your phone, I mean, you can still play the same song, but I just think it's a different type of connection to the artist.
I think it's a closer connection because they really get familiar with music on streaming. There's some things I would never like. There's always been those songs, or you see it at the store, like, oh, that's some new single, and you can't hear it You have to wait till to hear it on the radio. Now with streaming, you can just test whatever the fuck you want. Hear some shit on social media and go back and listen to it later.
But I think if someone's really interested in music, that's going to be regardless. I don't think that's going to be because streaming. I think, that's going to be in general, right? Like if you're interested, you're interested. It's like all, people make beats or come up DJing or whatever. They know all kinds of, all kinds of records from, classical type or old 50s, 60s bebop, whatever the case may be. That's because people into, that type of shit. Like RZA, you see the RZA thing where he was talking about they would play like a couple seconds of a song and he knew like the song, and he was talking about like the original versus the reproduct. Like he knew that shit. Like,
I mean, but he's a music like sycophant. He's always into music.
But yeah, but there's no point to it, right? It was like a whole thing. Let's take it back to the iPod, right? iPod, you'd have to plug your phone in, your machine into the computer, and you'd have to download songs, right? Napster or whatever the case would be. You'd have to download that music, right? Now, when you went to go download that music, you were more intentional about what you were going to download. You were searching for things, whatever the genre, whatever you wanted to download, even if you had access to anything. Classical, whatever. Like I would download some classical shit, like, oh, I could download some Beethoven, whatever, right? You download. To your point, as far as like having access to those things. But when every single song, every single thing is just there, you don't even know what's there. You're not even looking for what's there. You're just basically filtered. You're already pre-filtered. You're already getting, right? You go on Apple and they tell you these are the albums that came out today, right? So if you were interested in music, you could still look up a certain genre and find something. But I think before, you would be more intentional knowing kind of what you wanted to find. You've heard something or you saw something.
Yeah, it was different. The radio told you, or MTV. I don't know. I don't think that like Lauren would like have discovered PD Crack on her own if I didn't tell her who PD Crack.
Probably not.
Like that's never gonna happen. Like
which proves my point.
But that's why all this 90s music is in now. It's these kids. Like my nieces, they love listening to vinyl now, which is weird. Yeah, and they love 90s music and all this type of stuff because they hear their parents playing it and they're like, oh, that's cool. It's not like some old 70s, 80s. That's how we started listening to R&B. I didn't like Aretha Franklin, all these old artists because our parents played that shit. And we grew into it, and then we overlapped with artists like Michael Jackson transcended age groups, and that the whole family's listening to Michael and Janet and the Beatles and things like that. My dad used to love the Beatles. He hated it. He was like, I don't listen to these white boys, but he fucked with the Beatles and the Monkees. All of them.
The Monkees. I remember they had a TV show. I remember the Monkees.
I love that show.
Yeah,
man. Yeah, man. Shit.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of monkeys, Kanye. There's a lot of Kanye. That was a good segue, right? There's a whole good bunch of stuff going on with him. I want to start. The Diddy call, which is sort of tail end of last week. Kind of boring at this point. I thought that was like, oh my God, he's talking to Diddy from behind bars. But then he goes and calls Beyonce and Jay-Z's kids a bunch of, I can't say the word. We can't say the word, but let's just say he called them special. And I had no clue.
Beyonce and Jay-Z just came out are talking about taking legal action against Kanye. Actually, I just saw this come up. So New York Post is
get
reporting.
The kids out of it. Like Kanye always talking about, keep my kids out of this. I'm trying to protect my kids, and you can go talk about someone else's kids.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah,
and then you over here like with Diddy. Talking about doing an album with Diddy once he gets out of jail and all this crazy shit. Like, I get it. That'll be crazy. But like, I don't know. I don't know if there's. Look, I'm always excited for new Kanye West music. I'll listen to the album but the last two albums were subpar at best. And I'm not that I'm getting tired of his antics. I think they're hilarious, and it's kind of proving to us that a lot of things about what's wrong with our society. But this thing with talking about Jay and Beyonce, what they do to you? Like, I'm not one of those, Beehive people, or I used to be a big Jay-Z fan, but I ain't gonna take no bullets for Jay. Like, it's just terrible. Why would you say that? It's kind of fucked.
It is very unfortunate. The sad thing is this is exactly how all these people now, everybody gets, people to pay attention to them. It's like crazy, but our president. We look down the line. It's
This nigga
sensationalism.
Trump says crazy shit all the time, but he ain't gonna call Jay-Z's kid. You know what I mean? Or anybody's kid for that matter.
He might call a senator that.
Yeah, but that's different. That's a grown man, you know. Like,
Okay,
leave the kids out of it, man.
I totally agree. I'm just saying, in general, we're in a place where sensationalism is it creates dollars and cents, and that's the people are at the same time getting RICO charges and also getting likes and making money at the same time. It's a very bifurcated society that we live in. It's zero sum.
Wild how. Yeah, because social media is so accessible. You get a little phone in prison, you can still post, you can do all types of stuff.
He's out of line. I mean, this is crazy. First thing I thought was, Jay and Beyonce's kids are, I hope the youngest is, doesn't have any challenge. I mean, because I didn't know, I don't know.
I think it's the first I'm hearing it about that stuff. But it's like,
but I was first thing.
That's not our business anyway.
No, absolutely not. I just thought, because I never heard anything like that. I was just like, well, I hope that's not the case. I hope the child doesn't have.
They're not
issues.
Yeah, but this is the thing. You can't. They're not hiding the child. Number one, you should always, if you're a celebrity, you should always be cautious of your children and not let them be in the public spotlight unless they want to be or they understand that stuff. So I understand protecting them, because Kanye did it to his kid for a long. That kid was, even though what's her name was trying to put her out there like that when she was a baby, he kept her like locked up. Jay-Z and Beyonce did it until the kid was old enough to understand what those flashing lights were and all that type of stuff. Now, if the kid is a special needs child, which I don't know, that's a speculation, right? We don't know if this is real or not. Whatever, you just make it. Right? Like, you don't want. Why would you do that? It's tough for any special needs kid that isn't in the public spotlight just to get along in a regular society. You know what I mean? Like going to a regular school, doing all this type and the third. Imagine having a special needs kid when you're a celebrity and having to deal with that, and then like now everybody knows, and now it's like, oh shit, who's the first one that's gonna get a picture of this kid? Whatever. You have to be double cautious. It's gonna be crazy. So it's kind of fucked up that Kanye would put that out there like that. And to me, it's a sad, very sad, like just him just spiraling out of control. I mean, we've said it many times. Every time, oh, it's the Nazi thing. Oh, it's him going at Kim. Oh, it's him doing this, him buddying up with Trump. This is like now getting into a place where it's like, yeah, you just want attention, number one. And number two, you're like not helping people who could potentially help you. Like Jay-Z's always been understanding of Kanye's mental disabilities and said it out there like, yo, come to me if you need help. Diddy even said, come to me if you need help. He never went to them for help. He just turns to these idiots. So it's whatever. Kanye, come to me if you need help. Please, I'll help you. I will help you. You don't have to pay me nothing. We could just chat. I'm easy to talk to. Sean here will help you. Lauren will help you. We'll all help you. Just shut the fuck up and listen.
No, I hope it. I don't know. It's a very very unfortunate thing. I feel bad about this, the state in which we are in just as a society. It's a sad thing because everything, is so disingenuous. Everything. It's just like, obviously Kanye's going through a lot. Obviously Kanye's very talented. Well, it's not even about feeling bad because, no one really feels bad for anyone they don't necessarily know. Right. So it's like one of those things where we're experiencing his experience in real time, and he's obviously having some issues, internally, and he has some unresolved issues with people that he, will never probably be able to resolve. But everything that surrounds some monetary thing that he's making off of this. His album will have attention because of this, and that's,
But how many levels of not giving a fuck are there? Like, this is beyond, like, I don't give a fuck. But these are levels of this is higher than that. Like, I even have to bite my tongue just thinking about the things that he's saying.
You have to
respect for the individuals he's talking about.
Well, there's much more atrocities than Kanye calling Jay-Z's kids what he called them. There, I
Not-
mean, but
There's
when we,
no,
but,
bro. He's influential to millions of people. There's millions of people listening to this. That believe that'll buy into it. Whether they,
okay,
you know how many Kanye,
but that's
fans, super
but
fans
that's exactly my point, right? He has millions of people. The platform is given to those, right, who should not necessarily have the platform, but it's still, they are given a platform and it's supported and it's strengthened no matter what they do, because that's the fucked up society that we live in, unfortunately, right? So whether or not Kanye's going to be crazy or he's going to be sane, he's still going to have the same quintessential base of people that are going to support him and follow him with what he does. So he has the power to choose how those people see him or what they hear from him. Now, the problem is people can't disassociate themselves between
they can't
this type of thing, right? Because if someone's influenced by that, right, in a way to think of Jay-Z or his family or, you know, Beyonce in any kind of way, then they obviously have a problem. And that's where the crux of the problem is. So I think it's always a smoke screen of what we have. Kanye's talking crazy, but, you know, what we have to get to is that used to be no one would care. It's like the crazy dude on the street no one paid attention to. But now with social media and everything that we have that intertwines all this, it creates eyeballs, which Instagram's making money off of. Anything, Twitter, all this stuff is making money off of. It's all a monetary end to some bullshit, but that's unfortunately the cycle we live in. So
it's a terrible cycle.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on from that. Speaking crazy. Oh, okay. Let's get on to pop culture. Meagan Good and Jonathan Major are married now. He married a sugar mama. He ain't making no more money. Well, he just put out a movie, right? Didn't he put out some movie?
Yeah.
He played
he's actually a very talented actor. Yeah,
he is, man. He fucked up. That's that white girl, man.
Yeah. He went to Yale, man. He was, you know.
You know what's you heard? So I really think those, you know, my wife feels different. She's always on the side of the accuser in these situations. So a woman can never lie about a man abusing her, apparently. Or, you know, never. There's the victim's always right, which is, you know, you should always listen to.
The victim may not be the victim, so the victim may be the person that's being made up stories about. So
the way things move, we litigate these things before they become.
Oh yeah.
So you know, and we found out, like, even though, and then look, in the court of law, when, you know, you're running away from a woman who's hit you, apparently you're the assaulter in that case, right? So if you're black, at least, because he was clearly running away from her and she was chasing him and shouting at him in his video and audio. But what do I know? I know nothing about this. So he gets the assault and loses all his things, and then this magically, as he gets married, puts out another movie, audio just pops up of him talking when he's trying to strangle some same chick. Sorry.
That's new. Like, when did that drop?
Like last week or this week?
Oh, somebody else?
You didn't hear about that? No, the same woman that he used to date, the white girl. Audio just dropped of him talking about he wanted like him choking her or something like that.
Audio
randomly
of him choking her, or okay.
Just his audio. Now that could, like, to me, that could be AI, that could be whatever.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, like, it just ironically comes out as he's trying to make his comeback, as he just gets married to, you know, the love of his life or whatever. It's a bunch of bullshit. Regardless if he did it or not, why the fuck didn't this come out 3 years ago or whatever? He fucking, you know, why wasn't that evidence in the court hearing when they were talking about he was beating up on this woman when he was running away from her? Why? You know?
Yeah.
So I can't. I don't know. It's terrible. I feel bad for that man, but I also feel happy that he's married. Meagan Good, man. She
You know what? In honor, this is true shit. In honor of their wedding, in their honor of their wedding, we were watching The Intruder, The Intruder. That she's in that movie. Yeah.
Wait, is that light skin brother in that movie?
Dennis Quaid. Yep. Oh. He wore the glasses. They moved to the house and they had
okay. He usually plays the stalker. That guy,
Dennis Quaid. Yeah.
No. The black dude in that movie.
Well, yeah, I forgot. I know who you're talking about. That plays her husband.
Yeah,
with
we were
the
just talking
tennis
about him
man.
yesterday. I was like, "Who's that light skinned?" I said, "I don't know." He always plays like the weirdo. He played
Oh
a
yeah,
couple of black movies. The he was in the barbershop too.
yeah.
Yeah,
He
he
was
played
one of
one
the
of the
barbers.
barbers. Yeah,
Yeah.
of course he was one of the barbers. The
Mhm.
whole movie has barbers in it. Well, yes, kudos to Meagan. I want to make that Black love is great. They're gonna make beautiful black babies and movies or whatever they want to do. Don't listen to the haters. If there's any more audio of you strangling or killing white women, we don't believe it. It's all good. We love you, and we're good with that. No more bullshit. The astronauts are back. Apparently, SpaceX helped them come back after being stranded in space for 9 months.
Yep.
Great. I'm glad that people can get out of the atmosphere in one piece.
17,000 miles they were traveling, coming back in.
That's crazy.
17 miles per hour.
And I see that. I saw the
miles per hour.
pod land and all that stuff, and I'm just like, how does that physics and science? I don't get it. Neil deGrasse Tyson. I love
I
you.
listen to I listen to him all the time,
bro.
man.
I don't even know how it works. I'm just look. I don't.
It's pretty incredible. I just got a telescope for the house, actually.
That's great. Look at the stars. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I've always been fascinated with that stuff, but I don't really want to delve into it until it's super safe to do it. I have a thing. Actually, let's talk about Big U first, because it's a thing that's out there. This gentleman, Sean, our criminologist here, he's going to tell us what's going on with the Big U.
So, have you heard of Brick Baby? You don't know these guys?
I know Brick Baby. Yes.
Okay, Brick Baby, Big U. So there's like 20 something people that got indicted and picked up for charges, and Big U was apparently a fugitive of the law. So they did a whole press conference. They were looking for him, but there's this whole thing of racketeering. They're charging him with the RICO, so racketeering and murder for hire, or he murdered someone, but there's a lot of information coming out about extortion of NBA players and rigged dice games and people not checking in, having to pay money and getting extorted if you go to LA and you make money. So which is we've heard these stories. I mean, this is nothing new. People have touted these stories. Those that feel they should be checked in with have said, hey, you got to check in, blah blah blah. So people have the whole check-in thing has been something that's been ubiquitous in the hip hop community. But now with this whole Big U thing with the Crips and all that, it's like becoming like this massive case because wiretaps, they had his phone tapped. Brick Baby, who was talking a lot on podcasts and social media.
Yo, dog, you gotta go watch those Adam 22 interviews of these idiots, man.
Yeah, they're talking about
just
murder, robberies
on each other, left and right. Stupid.
I just don't understand the motivation. I don't
Bro.
understand.
So Tekashi 6ix9ine, and they're like, "Yo,"
which again is what I'm saying is how warped, right? Because our whole reality is to be on social media or something, and that be our actual reality. So we don't think what we're saying or doing or what have you has an impact on our real life, which I think for some reason they get lost. They're talking about murders and robberies and who they stabbed in prison. And all these could be like, dude, what are you talking about? Like, you
Casanova, man. Casanova. I love that motherfucker. Yo, just because he was, and then mind you, he was talking about shit that he did in jail. And they got him on a RICO one. I'm like, how? Like, because he's running the gang from the jail or running through. Like, don't say. And you know what's so funny now? You heard the thing about the gang people now. They don't say they gang anymore. Right?
But
like,
Jimmy Jones. 50 said 50. Because remember, he was like, I'm no gang. I'm not gang.
You saw Jim Jones on the podcast. So, no, we're a social club. The Bloods is a social club. There's no gang. What are you talking about? There's no gang. Like, you just learned about this shit. Y'all don't have good lawyers. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, like, we know you in the gang. Just don't say it. You were saying it all over your records. You were saying it all over the thing. You don't think Jim Jones is going to jail? I ain't gonna lie. I know he's going to jail one day for some bullshit. Bullshit. They got him.
There's a lot of people around him. There's a lot of people around. Yeah, there's a lot of people around him.
That Tekashi shit, right? They were talking about he gotta go.
Violated. Yeah.
Violated. You know what that means? He's talking about.
Listen,
one of the Dipset dudes.
Listen, I don't know nothing about all, but my thing is, listen. At the end of the day, there's a lot of people that's watching, and there's a lot of people looking.
Well, they
and
snitching on
you know,
themselves. I don't know. That's why I'm a civilian. I don't.
and these dudes are, for whatever reason, want to live out their glory days that they'll be first to tell you ain't so glory, right? Like,
So,
I mean, let's talk about what we talk about. Ain't no glory to be in a gang and fighting motherfuckers and having to prove yourself, stabbing somebody. There's no glory to that,
But when you're making the money already, like, what's the point of talking about that shit? Like, especially in the present, like, you have to understand that they're gonna always look at you, especially if you're black. They don't care what you could have done that shit when you was 15 years old. They always looking for a reason to tear you down, which they have done to many of these dudes. So they try to do it to, they're doing it to Diddy. They did it to everybody. The only person who's not fucking affected by any of this is Kanye. For some reason, he just keeps going. He say whatever the fuck he want.
Which is kind of interesting.
Ironic and interesting.
Well, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, and this is like, what's so interesting about all of this is that Kanye is saying a lot of crazy shit, but we got to think about like all the crazy shit that was said to it. And look, it's almost like one of those weird things. We don't want to normalize what he's saying. We don't want to rationalize what he's saying. We don't want to support or anything about what he's saying. But we should get to the point of like the fact of the matter is he's not said anything worse than others have said.
Just the way he's saying it.
Well,
the way he's saying it is very, very, very. Like,
I'm just saying,
there's better ways. Like, I think, like, if you're saying like the anti-Semitic stuff, I think that's what you're kind of alluding to. But
if we put a beat over it and he says the exact same shit,
listen to Candace Owens, the way she talks about it. Like, it's weird. Like, and he clearly is anti-Semitic. Like, so a lot of the stuff that he says is totally, racially, ethnically, religiously, like, biased and bigoted towards the Jewish people and culture. But when you're like a Candace Owens, she'll go in and talk about the government of Israel or Netanyahu specifically and what they're doing over there. They'll call her anti-Semitic too, which makes no sense. She worked for a Jewish guy over there at the Daily whatever, and she's she's breaking bread with you. So I don't understand, like, how does that work, But again, a lot of these people, specifically the bad ones, will weaponize that shit and use it as it's like how they keep saying to us, and you could take this however you want it. They tell us to forget about slavery, right? Now, mind you, I don't think I might be descendant of slaves. I don't know. But I can't really recall or know. I'd have to look at my family history. But at the end of the day, how are you going to forget that shit? Tell us to forget about it. Oh, that's whatever. You guys, you could play basketball and rap now. You're good. Jewish people never let down that Holocaust for shit. They'll never let down the shit that happened in Egypt when they were slaves. They'll never let any of that. We've been persecuted since day one. They use it for every bad thing that they do. The bad ones. The old government of Israel or whatever. And it's kind of fucked up, but they tell black people to just forget about your past all the time. Why? Why should we forget about it when you won't let it? You can't let us. You're always persecuting, everybody and their mother for having something or an opinion on, your people. Now that, mind you, they're like the what is that? What's that? The ADL, all those people. And it bothers me in a sense because that needs to change. And I understand there's lobbying behind it. There's a lot of, politics and all of that type of stuff. But we just have to understand the reason why a potential, uprising or some kind of bad thing can happen to Jewish people again, because it's hard. It's hard when there's bad actors using that as a crutch for every bad thing that they do. And that's exactly what, the bad guys did in World War II. The Nazis did. That's what Netanyahu's doing in Israel is exactly what the Nazis did. Brainwashing the people, telling them that these Muslims are bad or whatever, and they're eradicating that race. It's uncomfortable to talk about, but at the end of the day, it's like it's what's happening. A lot of people don't want to say it as it is, and then you have a guy like Kanye out here who could probably use his platform to articulate that, which he is trying to, but he just hates like the Jewish doctor that gave him the wrong Ozempic prescription so bad that he's just like, I hate all the Jews, like all this crazy shit. And it's just fucked up. And, you know, to all my Jewish friends out there, it's like, you know, that are really hardcore into this stuff, I just feel bad that, you know, that they mix your religion and culture with a bunch of bullshit that's just power grabs and politics and ethnic cleansing and all the other nonsense they want to do over there in Gaza. It's kind of fucked up. And, you know, and I don't know what to say to it nowadays.
Yeah, no, it's you know, it's we always have to pick and choose, right, what our battles are, what we can make ripple effects on, change things. But, you know, what Kanye's doing, all this, you know, everybody's going to have some type of fucked up opinion. You know, some people are going to have some type of fucked up opinion, and some people are going to express it to you to your face. Some people are going to express it, you know, amongst the people that also share that opinion behind closed doors, and maybe smile on your face and, you know, do worse to you or potentially do worse to you as you trust those individuals, you know. But at the same time, it's like whatever Kanye says is not going to change Jay-Z's life, you know. It's not going to change, you know,
he needs
his
to
family's life. It's not going to change, you know, when you're in the public eye, right? Like, you don't necessarily expect a Kanye, but you should expect a Kanye effect, a black swan effect. Someone's going to try to do something, you know, someone might try to kidnap your kid. Somebody might try to, you know, because you Jay-Z, right? You got to have security. You got to make sure that shit is game tight. Like certain family members might be compromised. Like there's a whole bunch of things that you have to think about when you're in the public eyes. And the last thing that you really honestly should be worried about is what Kanye's saying about your kids, because there's probably other people saying a lot worse in other countries when you had kids or you were touring in Europe or whatever, you know, and other, you know, Germany or whatever, and other languages that, you know, so someone's going to always talk shit. It's like the Bronny and LeBron James thing. You're in the public eye. At the end of the day, whatever it's going to be, just move on. Help give your children a strong will and a thick skin by reacting.
They have to
with saying this is stupid.
But I think that, you know, for the most part, I could think like it's like North Kanye's oldest. She's got. I mean, she's very similar to her father. I've seen the girl on the different videos talking and stuff.
Yeah.
She has a thick skin for this stuff. Because the mother, too, like just being in that household and shit. Like your mom was in a porn tape. Your father crazy. Your auntie is Travis Scott's ex, whatever. There's all types of, because Scott Disick's your uncle, like these crazy weirdos. Your granddad's is a woman. Like there's so many things going on here.
Well, no, exactly.
Like it's so crazy, and you have to deal with that and understand. Like, oh my God, these kids are going through a lot. They know so much about the world. You know, our kids, my nieces, they don't know so much about the world.
You just did it again. Everything you just said. So who gives a fuck what Kanye? You know what I'm saying? Like, you just described, right?
Yeah.
Like all that shit. Shit. That would be more. That would affect the child more than what Kanye said about Jay-Z's kid. His own kids, what they've experienced, right? With him loving them, right?
But see, this is the tough part. What is the backlash going to be? The Beehive is unforgiving. They will go. What do they see Northwest? They're going to start making fun of her on social media. They're going to start making fun of Kanye's other kids. He got that little boy. He got the little.
Well, I think he's attacked. Kids. I think he's attacked enough groups that are unforgiving.
I'm just saying, but look. I mean, you don't know what the Beehive can do to you.
No,
you don't understand.
I'm not saying. I'm not trying
that Beyonce
Beehive.
Clan.
I'm not trying to say that, but I'm just saying is that, you know, when someone doesn't really care, right? Which I feel like Kanye doesn't. Then it doesn't really matter, because same with Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift has a strong, and he goes back and says stupid shit about her sometimes. He'll poke, and you know, Taylor Swift has a huge. Taylor Swift had the huge. She has
the skinny white girls are not. The Beehive is vast, yo. They know. Lauren, you know this shit. You got some friends that they will kill for Beyonce.
Y'all seen the show called Swarm? It was about. It was supposed to be about the Beehive, and people like literally like will kill for her. It's crazy. You should watch it. Y'all should watch it.
Well, I got no beef with the Beehive. I'm just saying, you know, Kanye.
Well, Kanye do now, because
Kanye doesn't. He doesn't care. He doesn't.
You don't check in. You don't check in with the Beehive, just like Big U. going down. You know? And we
just
get
hope-
some snitching. Some
Yeah,
snitching
I know.
to-
Yeah, it's
Fed charges, gang.
yeah, man. I'm no gang.
No gang here. But yeah, Big U. Hopefully you make it through this stupidity.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? We
yeah.
pray for you. Don't go to Big Meat Route. Don't tell. Don't tell.
Well,
Don't start nothing with 50 either. You know what I'm saying? I'm just so glad. That's how I was telling Sean. I don't have to check in when I'm on the West Coast. Never had to my whole life. Shout out to Big Billy Clark. Introduced me to the Bloods and the Crips back then, 2003. Ever since then, I've been all good on the West Coast. I walk down any street I want.
Any street
that I want to go down. I don't really feel like, like I'm not going to the hood on purpose.
Yeah.
Nor am I going to be hanging out when, Bloods and Crips and gang members and stuff. I stay where I need to stay, but I don't need to check in when I'm there.
Well,
good.
that's
yeah. This is funny. I don't know if y'all watch. I got one more. We should close on this because this might be a long chat. But there was this. I don't know if you seen those 20 those pop the balloon things, right?
Mm-hmm.
With the girls thing.
Yeah.
So I think Sean, I've been sending you the clips. I don't know if you watched them. Where homie came out with the big chains on, and he was talking about he got private jets and stuff, and all that, right? So, did you watch though? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Well, I've seen so many, but I don't know if I saw this specific one. Do you have it or?
I don't.
Can you pull up the clip?
Well, this is different. I gotta describe what's going on here. So this guy was a contestant on the show. He came on there bragging about he got a private jet, a yacht, all this stuff. Now he don't know, like he was wearing like the most obnoxious, like he had big chains on, and he was wearing like I could tell his shoes were fake because they were like Louis Vuitton print sneakers. And they had big laces in them and stuff. But I was like, those are custom made. And they're probably off of like whatever. But
Timu.
Yeah, something like that. But he was very stereotypical hood black dude flaunting his money, right? Talking about money falling out his pocket, all this stuff. Turned off all the chicks. They like, oh, you was you could watch it later, but he was saying, like, oh, you ever been on a private jet before? And that's when all the girls started popping their balloon, like, nah, you're lying. And then they had like how like they do with Real Housewives where they have the reunion show or whatever. So they did like a reunion show. He came back on there talking about all this stuff, and then they showed him. He gave him a clip of him getting out of a helicopter. Okay, so it was a tiny little helicopter, 2-seater, and it was on a platform. And he walked off the helicopter. I was like, everybody was like, nah, that's staged. You're just walking off some helicopter that's already like they were all laughing at him. And then they were like going through his social media, and they were like, that is a private, that you're in the private jet, but that's clearly like there's this famous private jet rental stage where you could just it's in the interior of a private jet, and he took pictures there, and he was like whatever, and he admitted, he's like, oh yeah, that day I didn't have my jet, was in the shop or some shit. He said living this life. So this woman kind of did a breakdown on social media about this type of guy and who he attracts, and specifically talking about black people, because it's kind of funny because it's like it shows like the 3 different categories, like the bad and bougie girls versus the proper girls who wants this man and that man. I thought it was hilarious, but it did give me some perspective of like where like culturally the divide is, and it's kind of weird. So like these. And I'm gonna say this before I get into it. Like, it kind of is like how there's middle class white people, rich white people, and then like rednecks, right? And then it's like black people, it's like ghetto black people, middle class black people, and then rich black people. And then like, but everybody, it's like 2 extremes. Like anybody who crosses over the poverty line who's black does not want anything to do with that hood shit. But like somewhere in the middle, like it's just weird. But like you'll see, it is funny. This is so funny. I thought it was like the funniest shit, most relatable shit I've seen all day. But it was like a funny little clip. Let me see if I can. I'll pop. Let me see. Share this tab instead. Okay. Let's see there. Reload. Bring it up here. There's no sound. All right, refresh it.
Well, you gotta press the
video recently went viral with this guy from the Pop the Balloon Challenge. He was leading with his money, going really heavy about all the money he got rejected. Everybody was saying, oh, you women don't like when you lead with money and stuff like that. It's a way to do everything, and he just needed the right audience. So let's talk about it. 2 type of the highest maintenance black girls are the bad and bougie black girls, elegant high class black girls. He would have did excellently with them. Excellent. Trust me, when they act like that, it's for a reason. He would have did really good with the bad and bougie types. The elegant high class types, you can't move like that. The positive for him with that is their maintenance is really similar. They get their nails done, they get their hair done, they get waxes, they get facials, they get their teeth whitening, they get lashes. Their maintenance is very similar. Two completely different.
That is so fucking true, bro. And lady, it's so true because I never thought of it that way. Because you think like this is two different, like she says, aesthetics.
Yeah.
And aesthetics, though.
Oh.
Two completely different aesthetics. This does not work well with her. If he wants to get a girl more elegant and more class in her, he'll have to tone it down. He's going to change his costume a bit. You know, hit it with this a little bit. And by this, I mean pretty much same thing, but tone down. You see, tuck it in, pull the chains down a little bit. You being able to be more fluid with this one. This is giving a whole nother vibe. He's leading, but she would have loved that. Okay, so people keep forgetting that Black people are broken up by class heavily. Okay, the suburban Blacks versus the hood Blacks, two different vibes. Okay, two different aesthetics. Okay, so it doesn't matter what car he pull up in. They're not having it. Okay, I'm gonna give a personal example. So I have two very opposite sides of the family. One of my group of my family come from this. Other group of my family heavily comes from this. Okay, let me pull out with him and bring him to the family cookout. I promise you, I'm gonna get a call soon as 15 minutes after I leave. Your grandma's in the emergency room. What's going on? Yeah, when you brought Darrell, she smelled the weed on Darrell and she just passed out. And they had to take him to the emergency room to check her lungs. I'd be like, first off, his name is Steven, okay? And second off, he didn't have no weed. Oh, it must have been fentanyl. It must have been fentanyl. There was no fentanyl. Look, JoJo, he can't come. Grandma's going to the emergency room, get checked out. He can't come. My best advice, stay in the middle, okay? You don't want to go full seasonless dweeb, okay? You don't want to do that. You also don't want to go full Ray in there. Right in the middle, give you a lot of fluidity. He could have did a lot better. Last thing I'm going to say, if he wants to leave with money, he has to invite to a high-end restaurant with the higher class.
That's
He
true.
can't just come out the mouth, oh, I got 30K. No. Invite her to a restaurant and make sure to put that name in it. Make sure to say something she know. Tell her the blue duck, something she know, okay?
Blue duck.
Then
Blue
get
duck.
the expensive gifts, shopping sprees, those big flower bouquet, you're fine. But okay, so a video recently.
So I was like, yo, that is so true. No, and that's true because like I consider myself in the middle. You know what I'm saying? Look, I'm not like, but there was a point in my life where I thought that that's what women wanted. Remember? I mean, well, yeah, we were kind of all hanging out, like always, like I had to have a big car or, like jewelry. In college, I bought a fake ass gold chain, which people thought was real. And I wore it all around. And, girls like, but I was attracting a certain type of woman, which which at that time I thought was like the only type of woman, just because they were talking to me. And then when I got out of college and then started to understand, you got to dress, especially when I moved to DC, because we were in that era where you had to get dressed up to go out. So we was wearing
wearing a button up.
Oh my God. Yo, it was a requirement to go to the club and wear,
unless you knew somebody, you basically had to be. Yeah.
And then we looked at those motherfuckers funny because why are they wearing a baseball cap in here?
Yeah.
They wearing sneakers. What? And now that's like they don't care no more. You go baseball cap backwards, whatever.
Oh yeah.
The fuck you want. But back then you had to wear like a cardigan sweater and a tie and a button up. The jeans. Sometimes it wouldn't even let you in with jeans. Like if you was at the wrong night. You know what I'm saying? Now, it's whatever goes because it's money. But like, I don't know. Like from a female perspective, what is it? You got a boyfriend now, right? So what's the middle? Is he in the middle or is he like a nerd? What is he?
No, he's in the middle. He's in the middle. Yeah, he can't be too preppy. He can't be too hood. Like
that's the thing.
Just right. You know what I'm saying?
But how do you find that? Like, what is the middle is so weird now. Like, I don't know what the like. Is Kai Cenat a nerd because he plays video games and shit? But he don't look like a nerd.
Right.
He's the middle.
Yeah, he's
like,
considered middle.
Duke Dennis, like any of these guys, like streamer guys, they all love video games and shit, but they're fairly attractive men. Pause. And they all they get. I mean, I've seen the types of women they keep around. Like, all of them. That I Show Speed kid. They loving him. He was in Poland, like pulling these Slavic chicks and shit. I was like, damn. So
Wow.
there is a middle, but like that extreme end, I don't even know if people go for that extreme end like that anymore, right? Do they even?
Yeah. No, I don't think
you
so.
You don't see people bigging up like I don't know, like do rappers don't wear chains like that anymore. But like I don't.
I was gonna say, unless you're a rapper, that's the only thing.
Unless you're a rapper, but then you don't. Yeah. But you don't always. But look at the types of like Ruby Rose. Are you bringing that home to mom? You know what I mean? Iggy Azalea. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they play around with it, but I wouldn't.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be my main.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No. I mean, it's levels to the shit. So
and introduce them to the family and shit. You can't bring all that them chains and shit home. Fentanyl, whatever the fuck. Fentanyl. I don't know. I thought that was funny. Just because there's
it was a good video.
Yeah.
It put it into an interesting context because I don't know. I'm so out of touch.
Well, what's so funny, right? It's all about the relationship someone has with whatever that look is, right? So back in the day, gangsters used to wear suits, right? So at Harlem you used to have the zoot suits and shit. So the hustlers and shit would wear zoot suits, and those was the gangsters, those was the players and shit, right? The mafia, right? Shirt, ties, suits and shit, killing motherfuckers, right? Like, so we have to be careful, and this is why I always say with hypocrisy, we have to be careful because shit can flip on a dime based on who was wearing it, right? Zuckerberg got a lot of flack for wearing a hoodie when he first the board meetings. It was a whole big thing.
Everybody's wearing that shit.
Oh my god! Now, right now it's it's status quo, right? It almost means you're a tech CEO, right? So I think it's a good point that she made. Obviously there's certain stereotypes that certain families don't want to, fall victim to you falling victim to.
No, but have you ever dated like a hood rat looking chick, like with the long nails and?
Well, yeah. But I had a Baltimore.
You bring it home to your mom. I had
a Baltimore joint. Well, I didn't. So the bring it home to mom thing, or bring it home to. I mean, did she meet some, something like that? Yeah, but it wasn't like, bring it home. We about to sit down and have dinner. I didn't come up like that. I had a single family house, single mom. So
two girls that brought home.
So I was just outside, and if I happen to go home because I was grabbing something, yo, mom, this is,
I'm bringing. That's
more. But it's not bring it home. I don't know what that means. Bring it home.
I mean, like, but it's even in high school.
If you're gonna get married or if you're gonna get engaged or something. But I think that in those situations, most likely, if you're dating someone of that ilk or someone that looks like that, your family's probably not going to have much issue with it because that's typically what you date. If you're bringing someone home that looks like that, right? Like, that's not like it would be something consciously you'd be like, man, I never brought somebody home like this. But if you're bringing someone home, then you've probably brought someone home like this before, right? Unless it's you have family that's a racial component, that's a weird thing because I've been in those situations where it's like, they never dated X, Y, and Z. So that's different. But as far as like what someone's wearing or dressed like, I think that's been happening for a long time, right? High school, college, right? If people go for that look, then people typically go for that look for their duration of their dating career. It does.
Yeah.
So
that's interesting. So I never brought home. I brought home two girls, and one of them was Donica. But I mean, my whatever. But that it's just tough because you don't. As I've gotten older, understanding, both my parents passed away at this point, but it's they expect you to bring home somebody that they think you're going to be with long term, especially college years and all that. In high school and stuff, I dated nothing but white girls. I couldn't be like where I grew up. If they brought me home, no way. Back in the day, nah. I grew up in a white place.
But that's the thing.
Big old black motherfucker home. Didn't matter if I was dressed with a suit and tie and my dad was a billionaire. I would have been run out that bitch.
But that's the biggest thing, right? As parent, like, and that's the biggest thing for me is being a parent, which is relatively young, relative to like what I said, with other parents in my demographic. But that's the whole thing about it is that you have to be careful with that because generally parents want you to bring home someone that they want you to bring home, that they envision, right, for you, right? It's a whole different thing, not necessarily who's best for you, but to someone they envision for you. Now, qualities and foundational things are supposed to be what they are, right? You're supposed to have that within yourself to know, hey, I don't want somebody that's stepping out or doing blah, 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 someone solid, someone who supports me, someone's had my back. But everything changes because the experience of the person, right, growing up in that, the times are different, the music is different, everything's different, tattoos, people, so everything's different. So 20 years, right, fast forward, things that weren't the norm when we were 20, 22 are the norm, for these kids now. So we have to be careful about looking like this or that because we can become a syndrome of we're lost in the times because we don't understand. And not to say someone should be dressed, bringing gold chains and going to see the family. I think that should always be that kind of respect level. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna be
you should
best. Yeah. So I think that shows something, but
I got to tone it down with the fashion and stuff. Like, but now I don't care. Like, now that we're married and stuff, like the family knows me. I could come around with the baggy clothes and the hoodie and like casually. But I know, like, if I'm going to be around other people in the family, family events, I'm definitely going to put a polo shirt on, put a suit on, whatever I need to do. Yeah, but that's just knowing the room, and that's what makes
exactly.
But like you said, you gotta. If you don't know the room or the crowd that you're trying to cater to, and I guess he just wants a hood bro. Like, you got to see this brother's video is hilarious, man. That popped the balloon joint with him in it. All them, everyone. He's talking about, you ever been on a private jet before?
Yeah, I have to go. I have to go back on my yacht.
Fucking funny, man. Fucking funny shit. I want to get Lauren's perspective. We'll give her. Well, her computer froze up. I gotta ask her some questions. And we'll close it out. But anything else going on besides? There was a list of. Let me get back on the list real quick so we could at least cover. We call it. The device not ad stage. All right, she's back.
Oh, is she back on?
Yeah. It's taking its time. Don't front. Hey, there she is.
Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry, I don't know what happened.
So I was about to put you on the spot. So have you ever dated a Darrell or a Ray Ray?
No, never. That's not my type. I just can't. No.
Yeah. And have you? Well, and then you answer because we were just talking about all that stuff, like how that whole, like
they've definitely approached me, but it's just not my type.
It's not your type. Not even no consideration for it. Not even if it was like cool. None of that. No. Did you grow up in the suburbs?
I mean, I feel like, yeah.
Okay, that explains.
But not like, yeah, like the picture she showed of the bougie girls. I mean, I was never the bougie type. I'm very down to earth, chill, laid back. So
okay.
But yeah, suburbs.
So so you're sort of in the middle then. Are you like the high maintenance?
Yeah.
Are you high maintenance?
No, I'm not very. No, I'm not.
You don't get.
I'm high maintenance when it comes to like. No, I don't get I just get my toes done. But like, I'm high maintenance when it comes to like my health and everything, like eating good and stuff like that. Yeah. But like, when it comes to clothing and the latest trends, like I just do what I like. Yeah, I follow.
Okay, so you want a little
myself. Yeah,
that's cool. I mean, there's people like that. It's just tough. Like
it's rare.
Yeah. And just being like, no, that's kind of normal. But you got to think like people are so like in our community specifically, people are so cliquish that is it hard? Like especially in DC. Like you see all them girls on Capitol Hill. If you're not dressed a certain way or look a certain way or know to certain people, you never gonna be. Well, Sean, you know that. That's that goes for black and white, Asian, whatever. If you're not clicked up with the right people or acting like a robot, you done. So
yeah,
what it is. But I'm glad I'm out of that. But I've always. The funny thing is that as Sean and I both like 20 years over there. We never had a problem blending into any room, no matter what.
Yeah.
I've been to some joints. He let me into. I remember you used to let me into some of your real estate joints.
Oh yeah.
And suit and tie, and I'd be over there with my whatever I was wearing, baseball cap. Right? I'll be talking these things. The shock of seeing some dude dressed like casually after I open my mouth and talk. People are automatically adjust and become more friendly.
Yeah.
I don't feel like, I think that if you're, going back to if you're able to articulate yourself in a certain way, and I'm not saying, be articulate and well-spoken. I'm being more down to earth, because people who are well-spoken,
right,
for the most part, are fake. In my opinion, are very like, how are you doing, sir, ma'am? Just fuck that. I don't do. If you could get people to be. If you could get somebody who's all buttoned up to loosen up and bring it down to a regular conversation, I think that's regardless of how you look or whatever, that's makes you a more relatable person.
Yeah.
And not off-putting. If I walked into those rooms talking about look at my chains and have you been on a private jet and all this other nonsense, I think everybody, regardless if they've been on a private jet or not, are going to be turned off by that.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is. So Darrell or Pookie or whatever his name is here, y'all got to watch the video when he was on the Pop the Balloon, because it wasn't like funny. It was very ironic, because he's saying all this crazy stuff and nobody fell for it. Even the girls that you'd think might like it, they were just like, nah, you corny.
Yeah.
Like, you too much with all that nonsense. And it's like, but he's trying to attract a particular type of woman. That is what it is. And on that note, I think we'll close it out.
All right.
It has been another episode number 10. Actually, I don't even know if that one we did with my sister is coming out or not. I have to run it through some software real quick. I haven't even listened to it.
Yeah.
But it was funny, and I think there will be some good clips that might come out of it. So I'll work on that this weekend. But I'm gonna try to get this one up tonight. Hopefully, I've been really on it. By the way, last week was our best viewed and listened to podcast ever.
Oh,
without the ads, by the way. We are running ads, people.
Nice.
So you see, and fuck all of you people who don't understand sports. That Bronny and Stephen A. Smith, everybody on that thing, they're all a bunch of Jordan suckers or whatever. The guy in the red hat doesn't know anything about sports. I was like, where did that come from? Like, we wasn't even. I'm talking to, and the facts are, Bronny
who was in the red hat?
So go to YouTube and read the comments on the full. I clipped it up into a 15-minute clip, and people just don't understand. I was.
Were you wearing the red hat?
I was wearing the red hat. Yeah. But it's funny because when somebody, and this is what's wrong with people in society, when somebody comes to the table with a strong argument, facts to back it up, and all they have is fairy tales and nostalgia to go off of. They start going into this whole like, oh, you don't know nothing about sports, you don't know nothing about basketball, because I saw Jordan fly from half court and dunk on 50 fucking gorillas and shit.
Which is amazing.
Who gives a fucking crap?
That's amazing.
He did it in Space Jam. It was a cartoon. It's not real. Okay, that was a cartoon. These people are living these cartoonish lives. Pretending that Air Jordan was a real person.
You said on YouTube? I was trying to.
It's on our YouTube. Go to the thing. But views are up. So the Doce clip did very well. The full podcast almost has 50 views. I mean, now mind you, that is small in comparison to Joe Rogan, who gets 1 million plus views on every podcast.
How do you look at comments? How do you look at the comments?
Just go into the comments.
Well,
I'll there's an app I'll send both,
because it says LeBron James versus Stephen A. Smith 4 days ago. Oh no,
yeah,
you should be able you said the full. Oh, you said the full one.
Yeah, not the. I don't know if I clipped it up, but I did do like a regular YouTube video. So as long as we stay current, some of these things will get good views, and subscribers are up a lot. So I'll send you guys like the login, so you could log in and look at the back end of the thing. We're not quite to monetization yet because they made it tougher to be monetized. So we have to go viral. So I'm saying we got to do something crazy next week. I don't know what we're gonna do. We gotta do crazy though. Something big.
Well, we'll start doing some live stuff too. I think that'll be.
I want to do the live
Mhm.
stream. I have to actually I'll do that right after we record here. I'm gonna hook up the live stream stuff. We could live stream directly from here, and I have to change the overlays and whatnot to make it more live streamable. But I mean, look, it's exactly where I thought we'd be. I think everything's moving well. So thank you.
Yeah. No, that's good.
Lauren, you've almost well, you're there. You're quite there. You're very comfortable now. I think you're talking freely. You're saying things.
Yeah, I'm still working. I'm still working on it.
Look, think of us as
I'm
people.
grateful.
We're your friends now, right? We're your friends.
Yes.
Saying crazy shit. It's all good.
Yeah.
And even it's funny because Sean and I talk like every day almost. Oh, I owe you an apology, by the way, Sean.
What?
From this morning. That's why I was calling you back, because I should have said something about that thing you told me about in the email. I'm not going to say it out loud here. No, because I thought about it. I was like, yeah, it was kind of fucked up. I should have said something that night, but then I didn't think about it. But then I was also like, oh, I'm happy for not that I'm like inconsiderate. No. I was thinking about it because you were like, oh, that and everybody was like, and I was like, I kind of knew what it already happened because y'all. But then I also thought to myself, like, just because I knew doesn't mean I shouldn't celebrate it like it's something amazing,
it's all good.
which it is. It's amazing. I'm happy for you. But I do feel bad that I did not, say something outright. I should have, and I feel bad about that. And that's why I was calling you, not necessarily, but you sort of to apologize, but also to say that I'm not a horrible. And I also feel like the other person, because they brought it up, might they say, like whatever. But then I understand that person too, and I totally get why they would think that, because my other person would say the same thing, and I was thinking like, nah, that is what she would say, or he, or they, or them. Okay, all the pronouns.
Yeah.
Anywho, but we'll celebrate. I celebrate that. I love it. Congratulations.
Yeah. No, man. Thank you.
I'm excited for this summer or fall, whenever the hell you're gonna do.
Yeah. Well, we'll figure it out.
All right, let's wrap it up.
All right.
I'll talk to y'all next week.
All right.
Bye.
All right,
Peace.
Bye. Peace.
All right.